Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel, lovely people. If I'm looking right down over here, just like my script is over here, so I'm just going to read it from here, if so that I know that I'm not missing anything out. So I really want to focus on what really happens when the child grows up and becomes an adult and they're like figuring their lives out, like me. I am a grown adult who grew up in an abusive home, and now here I am figuring life out, looking the things here and there, like just making my way into the world and figuring myself out, having a lot of epiphanies recently. Home, like, let's begin with the definition of home. Like, home is like a feeling, home. Whenever someone talks about home, they think that, yeah, it is your safe haven. It is the place where you can just be yourself, where you can just be tired, where you can just lie down and close your eyes and take a deep breath. That's the definition of home for a lot of people, isn't it? Because that's the idea that people feed into in the minds of young generation when they're growing up. That's your ideal home. But what if you grow up in an abusive home? What then? What happens then? Because then home really is not really about comfort, is it? It is more about survival and awareness. It's listening to footsteps and immediately adjusting your body according to that. And I've done this. Like, I remember whenever I used to hear those footsteps in the hallway coming towards me, I just used to become so stiff. So that really happens. You change, you adapt. When you're like sensing danger, it's like living in an abusive home is always like walking on eggshells, let's be honest. It's reading faces before you even speak so that you don't offend that particular person. It's calculating when to stay silent and when to speak up. In my case, it was always about staying silent. I was so afraid to speak up. It's still hard for me because of whatever things. I don't know. Speaking up, it just feels so distant to me a lot of times. It's like, it kind of, at this point, I'm like, I have been working on myself quite a lot, but I had, like, till last year, speaking up, it was kind of like that, what if I speak, but I'm not really allowed to speak. It's like I was seeking permission to speak up in rooms where you should be allowed to speak up. It's freedom of speech. You are allowed to speak up, share your opinion, share your points. You're encouraged to speak up, but I always looked for permission. Like, am I even allowed to speak up and share my viewpoints? Like, is this okay? And speaking up, I'm not talking about speaking up to the camera. This helps a lot to gain that confidence. But still, like, it still, like, kind of gives me anxiety to speak up, even if it's just like one person. I'm not talking about stage fright here, because I feel like that is easy for me somehow. If I'm speaking up in front of all the random people, and the people I am speaking to, they don't really have any expectations from me. But when it comes to the authority figure, example, my boss or my teacher or anyone, it's like it gives me anxiety, panic attacks. It was bad. It was really bad. I'm still learning to speak up in front of them. It's like I am allowed to take space. I am allowed to say what's in my mind. I am allowed to disagree with whatever they are saying or whatever they are not saying. I am allowed to do that. I am allowed to share my opinions. And it's normal. It's completely normal. And for someone who grew up in an abusive home, it's really not that easy, is it? Like, I don't know how many people will be able to relate to this, considering the fact that this video might not even reach that many people. But it's just like my experience. If you don't agree with this, that is okay. That is completely fine. Everyone's experience is different. Everyone's way of perceiving things and taking in things is different. So that's okay. That's completely okay. But yes, going back to the point that when you are raised in an abusive home, you learn, like, it's like kind of, you learn to apologize before you even understand that what you did wrong, basically. Like, did you even make a mistake? No, maybe you didn't, but you just like apologize for it way before, so that it just does not become a whole issue. And as I was saying, here's the part that nobody prepares you for, that even when you leave that house that you grew up in, even when the yelling, the cussing, the everything, it stops, the wiring stays with you. Because it just does. It lingers, it haunts you until you face it. But that too, that takes tremendous amount of courage. And all the people who are doing that, who are working on themselves, I am so proud of you, because it takes tremendous courage. It really does. And not a lot of people can or want to do this, because a lot of people are just ignorant about this. You grow up learning that love is conditional, that affection can disappear without any warning, that being impressive, be it in your job, be it in your studies, be it in your day-to-day lifestyle, your relationships with people, it gives you, that being impressive gives you peace, and being inconvenient, whatever the definition of inconvenience is in your mind, costs you connections, you lose people. If you think, like, in my mind, it was always like, if I express my true self to the people who are my friends or my colleagues or anyone like that I'm like kind of vibing with, or I'm becoming friends with them, if they see the true me, if I express myself in front of them fully, they will just leave, because they will think that I'm an inconvenience, and they won't really appreciate that. And it sucks. It costed me a lot of relationships. And yeah, but here's the truth. The ones who really sees you and cares about you, people can see who you are. Let's be honest. We think in our heads that we are hard to read and nobody really can tell what's like going on in here, but that's a big fat lie that we tell to ourselves, because people can read us. We are not really that hard to read. People, yeah, obviously not a lot of people, but a lot of people can read us, like see us, hear us. But it's like, it's mostly up to us, that we allow them, we give them a chance to, like, okay, see who I am, hear what I have to say, hear my stories, hear my ideas. Now, after doing that, it is up to that person if they accept your ideas, really hear your ideas, because that also matters. If they are like kind of disregarding your thoughts and everything, it means they're not the right people for you. They're not the right vibe, and your tribe, they're not the right tribe for you. So you just move on. Don't waste your energies on empty friendships. It sucks. It does not get you anywhere. The kinds of connections that we are looking for, it took me a while to even understand that I was a people pleaser for a very long time, and I'm like, it's not worth it. It just wastes your own energy and your time. Most important asset in your life, your time. Don't waste it on false people, false connections. So okay, going back to the point, when affection can disappear without warning, and all those three things, like being impressive earns you peace, being inconvenient costs you connection, and what does that do? What do you do after that, after learning that? Because that was conditioned in your mind. You become impressive, you become quiet. Like I became quiet in my case. A lot of people choose self-destructive behavior. They become alcoholics, they do drugs and whatnot, because that's the life they are choosing. They are choosing to numb the pain instead of facing it, instead of working on themselves, like working on the things that happened, working on like trying to talk to their mind, like, okay, what do you want? What can I do? These are the things that are bothering me. Basically working on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, going back, you become the low maintenance one. You train yourself to not need too much, even though in a lot of cases, like including me, what your needs are is like literally the bare minimum, and even that bare minimum, you go way down the bare minimum as well. So don't do that, guys. You deserve the bare minimum, and even above the bare minimum. Okay, choose yourself. And in a lot of cases, when all of this is happening, what you're doing, you sometimes become a people pleaser. And here's the kicker: you don't even realize that you're doing that with yourself until or unless you start working on yourself and start recognizing your patterns and everything. But in a lot of cases, people don't realize that what they're doing. And it sucks, because the person in front of you, they may be working on themselves, working on their traumas, and working on becoming the best versions of themselves. They can see right through it. But like, trust me, a lot of people are ignorant, a lot of people are not willing to work on themselves, and a lot of people, we tell ourselves that, okay, maybe it's just like my personality, maybe I am too sensitive. Like, that's what I did. I used to tell myself, like, okay, I am just sensitive, I am anxious, I am overtly ambitious, like I want things, I want good things. I'm just someone who overthinks a lot. Like, my mind just does not stop at all. But I wasn't really born this way. I realized this last year. Like, I wasn't born hyper aware. I was trained to be this way. I was conditioned to be this way. Nobody really borns a certain way. We are conditioned to be a particular person. And growing up in an abusive home, it just teaches you to monitor every single thing, every single minute, rather. And just imagine when you're doing that from that young age. I don't even know what it does, how damaging it can be. It teaches you to anticipate moods. It teaches you to shrink yourself before someone says that you're too much. And that pattern, it just does not disappear when you move out of that house. No, it follows you. It follows you everywhere. It follows you into your relationships, into friendships, into work, into rooms where someone's approval feels slightly out of your reach. You start chasing validation without even realizing that you are chasing validation. And it took me ages to realize that, oh my God, okay, I am chasing validation from this person. That's why it makes me this nervous to speak up, because I just don't want to be wrong. I just don't want to sound stupid in front of them, in front of this authority figure that I in my mind put on a bloody pedestal. I don't care. I didn't think this through. That do they even deserve to be in that position, or it's just like in my mind and it's just the authority figure. That's why I'm doing that. And the beauty is when you realize it, you start breaking those things. You start becoming who you were meant to be from the very childhood. But that only happens when you yourself begin to trust yourself and begin to work on yourself, because it begins with you. It truly begins with you. Yeah, conflicts does not feel like disagreement. It feels like danger. Silence does not feel peaceful. It feels like that something bad is about to happen, because when you were growing up, something bad did happen. Silence was equivalent to bad things happening. Even love can feel uncomfortable, because when you grow up, earning love, unconditional love, feels sus. Let's be honest, it does. It does feel sus. It's like, okay, why are they being so nice to me? What do they want? What is their ulterior motive? Like, can a person not just be kind and polite to another person? Maybe they like you, maybe they have a crush on you. Have you ever thought about that? Like what do you mean that I don't have to perform for this? That I don't have to perform to earn your love? And the hardest part is that we often blame ourselves for still being affected. Which is insane, honestly, because a lot of people, we blame ourselves that, okay, it wasn't really that bad. A lot of people have probably gone through worse and they turned out fine. They became an inspiration. But let's be real. Every person is different. Everyone's way of taking in and perceiving things are very different. Just because something that affected you so deeply, it does not mean that the same thing would affect the same person in the same spectrum. It does not mean that at all. So we just have to be a little kind with each other and just respect, okay, it affected you. I am so sorry to hear that. Let's see what we can do. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard, but I sincerely don't get it, why it is so hard for people to comprehend. I don't get it. I think, yeah, that's it that I wanted to talk about. I know this video is, maybe it was out of the place. Apologies if it sounded like out of the place, because yeah, it was just something different from my end. It's something that I wanted to talk about and get it off my chest. Thank you so much if you watched the entire thing and waited and listened to the entire thing. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know your thoughts about this topic in the comments. And yes, I'll see you next week. I don't know which day, because I'm figuring it out, that which day I'm going to post my videos. But yes, I'll see you next week for sure. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.